Can a tiny field mouse with its small teeth really chew its way through a massive, solid iron beam? In this ancient Panchatantra tale, that ridiculous question becomes the center of a high-stakes dispute. On one side, we have Nadak, a merchant known throughout his town for his hard work and honesty. On the other side is his friend Janak, whose outward charm hides a deep, quiet greed. After hitting a rough patch in his business, Nadak decides to travel to a distant city to rebuild his fortune. Before he leaves, he takes his last remaining asset, a heavy iron balance beam used for weighing goods, and asks Janak to keep it safe until his return. Nadak hands over his only safety net, assuming their relationship is built on mutual respect. Business and friendship both break down entirely the moment that baseline of integrity disappears. Years go by. Nadak's trip is a success, and he eventually returns home wealthy and ready to start fresh. Naturally, he visits Yanak's shop and politely asks for his iron beam back. But Yanak has a problem. He secretly sold the expensive iron beam and pocketed the cash. To cover his tracks, he puts on a sad face and tells Naduk a fabricated story. A plague of mice got into the warehouse and ate the entire solid piece of iron. This chart shows the exact biological limits of a mouse compared to the structural properties of iron. A mouse's incisors are coated in hard enamel, which is great for gnawing wood, but they only rank about 5.5 on the Mohs hardness scale. Iron's sheer atomic density makes it physically impossible to break down, let alone digest an entire beam. Naduk spots the lie, but realizes a crucial problem. He has no physical proof. If he yells, Yanak will stick to his story, and Naduk leaves empty-handed. When you are handed a blatant lie and lack the evidence to disprove it on the spot, reacting with raw emotion plays right into the liar's hands. You need a different tactic. Naduk's response is calculated. Instead of arguing, he forces a smile and nods understandingly, telling Yanak that these things happen, and there's no use crying over spilled milk. Later, Naduk mentions heading to the local winding river to bathe, asking to take Yanak's young son for fresh air. Yanak agrees, but Naduk instead takes the boy to a trusted friend's house, keeping him perfectly safe but hidden. This sets the stage for a parallel deception. Naduk returns to town alone, looking completely frantic. When Yanak asks where his son is, Naduk makes a wild claim. He says a giant hawk swooped down out of the sky, grabbed the boy by his clothes, and carried him away. Notice what Naduk is doing here. This diagram illustrates how he is matching Yanak's data points perfectly. An average hawk can carry about half its body weight, maybe 2 or 3 pounds. Lifting a human child is aerodynamically impossible. By choosing a lie that is exactly as ridiculous as iron-eating mice, Naduk weaponizes Janak's own absurdity against him. If you match a deceiver's flawed logic rule for rule, you force them into a corner. They either have to accept your impossible story as fact, or they have to confess that the rules they established are fake. Janak, of course, completely loses his mind. He screams that the story is a scientific impossibility and angrily accuses Nadak of kidnapping his son. To resolve the deadlock, the two men bring their conflicting stories before the objective authority of the village judge. In front of a crowded courtroom, Janak gives a frantic testimony. He correctly argues the laws of physics, stating loudly that no bird of prey possesses the lifting capacity to fly off with a human child. The judge turns to Nadak for his defense. Nadak simply shrugs and replies that in a town where the local ecosystem allows tiny field mice to consume massive, heavy iron beams, it is completely logical that hawks can carry away boys. The courtroom falls completely silent. Nadak's logical trap snaps shut. He doesn't need physical proof of Janak's theft. By simply highlighting the glaring inconsistency in the liar's own rules, the deception collapses under its own weight. The judge takes one look at Janak's pale face and instantly understands the entire situation. The color drains from Janak's cheeks as he realizes his own clever excuse is the exact thing that just convicted him. Unable to keep up the charade, Janak confesses to selling the beam. The judge orders him to pay Nadak the full financial value of the iron. Only after the debt is settled does Nadak reveal the boy's safe location, reuniting the father and son. This is a practical demonstration of what goes around comes around. By inventing a rule that iron is edible, Janak created the very logic that led to his own downfall. Deceit always functions like a hidden mechanical snare. The person who spends their energy building it to trap someone else will inevitably end up stepping on the trigger themselves. While we might not deal in iron balance beams today, the core lesson holds up. Real integrity is the choice to remain honest, specifically in those moments when cheating seems easy and highly profitable. And when you are confronted by someone else's dishonesty, remember Naduk's framework. Lower your emotional temperature. Rely on calm observation and critical thinking instead of reacting with blind anger. What do you think of Naduk's strategy? Was mirroring the lie the smartest move, or was it too risky involving the child? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed breaking down the logic behind this ancient tale, hit the like button, share this video with a friend, and make sure to subscribe to the channel, because at the end of the day, true justice is rarely achieved by the person shouting the loudest. It goes to the quiet power of a calm, logical mind.